Hey there folks, this is GreenXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 76. In last episode we wrapped up chapter 1 of the 4th arc, and Akasaka, our main guy, and Uishi, who we know from other arcs, made it to the village of Hinamizawa, and they were greeted by sort of roadblocks of people and stuff. And now they've made it through thanks to Uishi. I'm not sure Akasaka would have made it through on his own, so we're going to get on to chapter 2 and see what's going to happen next. If it's what I'm thinking of, we're actually going to meet one of our old characters. I don't know. Waking up in a cheap hotel in the city was by no means pleasant. I remembered even during the long camping trips we had during grade school, I wanted to get home quickly, counting out the days left on my fingers. Waking up this morning, I was somehow reminded of that. Was it a need to be with my wife when she gave birth? A particular type of homesickness? Yeah, we saw during a tip that they're still doing well and he's still phoning home and stuff. As a productive member of society, as a public servant bound to fulfill his duties, it was pathetic indeed. Those negative emotions faded as I downed my breakfast, which was surprisingly not half bad. I can't eat breakfast at all. The meeting with the informant that Uishi had provided would be tonight. Until then, I couldn't just be lazing around. The Onagafuchi Defense Alliance was protesting the dam's construction in various ways. Included in this was a strategy for improving public relations, which could be categorized into two major forms: combative and peaceful. Okay. In regards to the former, as an attempt to keep law enforcement in check, they appealed to the public's sympathy by highlighting the oppressive and inhumane tactics of the police and the brutality of the riot squads. The latter, peaceful route, stressed how precious the natural surroundings of Hinamizawa was, seeking people who would oppose the dam on environmental grounds. Okay, so they're trying to get a ton of people on their side. As a part of that, the village of Hinamizawa had invited celebrated zoologists and botanists, as well as environmental groups, to advertise the nature surrounding the town. According to the news, in recent years there had been a group calling itself Hinamizawa Nature Watching, setting up free sightseeing tours. I would like to have taken advantage of the opportunity, but when I called the village administrative officers, they responded that it was too late to put in an application for the tour, and they were still undecided as to when they'd be doing another one. I see. So there's no applications for next time. Too bad. Are you a member of an environmental group? Or maybe somebody from a magazine? No, just here privately. Privately? Then you're a tourist? Something like that. It's my hobby to take pictures that display how beautiful nature can be. I read in a magazine that there were some precious nature reserves here, so I was looking forward to it. We know someone with a camera, maybe. I knew there was an article that had something like that written in it, but I hadn't actually read it. Was it this ad-libbed lie not going to work? However, contrary to my expectations, the person I was speaking to laughed happily. And come. The village is a little busy right now, but you're totally welcome here. In that case, I'll graciously accept the offer. Thank you. How are you getting around? Car? If that's the case, could I ask you for your license plate? No, there's no ulterior motive behind that. That was probably related to the checkpoints they'd set up on the way to the village. If I didn't give them my license plate number, I'd most likely be hindered in various ways. Oh, he's not in Hinamizawa yet, is he? I actually thought he was, by going through that one, roadblock of people. I thought, But no, just outside, I guess. I thought about using the car I had borrowed from the prefecture, but I was lost on whether it was okay to tell them that plate number. If the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance was behind this incident, there was no guarantee that they wouldn't be able to find out who I was. I had to play it safe, so I elected to refrain from using the car. No, actually, I'm not using a car. If there's a bus or something, I prefer that. We do have a bus, actually. The route is going to be discontinued soon, though. You can take that. It departs from Hinamizawa Station. Thank you very much. I'll look out for it. When will you be coming? Is it your first time in Hinamizawa? If it is, you must be unsure about a lot of things. If you let me know, I can have somebody show you around. Oh no, I couldn't ask that much of you. Don't worry about it. That's just a bit of PR we do, to protect nature around the village. Judging by what I saw at the checkpoint, the villagers were at the very least wary of outsiders. That's why in order to move in and out of the village freely, I had to travel with somebody like Uishi, or side with the dam protests. Having an interest in the natural environment surrounding the village tied into the peaceful type of PR that the village was using. I was a bit against having a watchdog attached to me, but that might actually work out in my favour. This is actually showing how a certain character is going to come to be showing us around the village then. We'll be meeting this person soon. I don't think it actually told us what she was for until we actually met her in the anime and manga. The entire village was fired up about the dam protests, so I might be lucky enough to hear some especially candid opinions from the residents. Given that, there were no real reason for me to refuse their offer. Is it really alright? If so, that'll really help. After that, I was shown the bus schedule and directed to which bus I should get on. Somebody would come and meet me at the bus stop in the village. After showing me around a spot I'd taken an interest in, there was no doubt they'd bring me to somewhere like an anti-dam information centre. Then, over a cup of tea, they'd try and indoctrinate me into accepting their principles and beliefs. Well, if that was their aim, there'd be a lot of freebies involved. The world's about give and take, after all. I couldn't be going in a suit. I pulled some plain clothes out of my travel case and changed into something more casual. After that, after calming down by watching some local telly, I left the hotel and set out for Hinamizawa station. The bus route that I was told would soon be discontinued certainly didn't look that way. There was more than enough trips on the schedule, and the number of passengers was by no means sparse. It was the main link to Hinamizawa, the only town in the area. The types of passengers that stood out were older folk who didn't look like they could drive, and housewives who didn't seem like they had a license. If the area was submerged at the bottom of the lake, it wouldn't matter if there was a bus route. That's why it was going to be discontinued, in the natural scheme of things. Oh, they're getting rid of the bus route because there won't be a town anymore, or village. I could catch a glimpse of the government's intent in cutting off their means of transportation to bully the village into emptying out sooner. It makes sense. According to the documents, talks between the Ministry of Construction and the locals broke down quite early. The government decided from the start to take an aggressive stance on the matter. It was like the fairy tale with the north wind and the sun trying to get the traveller to remove his cloak. Oh, I know that one, where the sun is so hot he gets rid of his cloak instead of the wind who tries to blow really hard but can't. But the man just wraps it around himself even more. Even their bullying had meaning to it. The reason why the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance resisted so violently was because the government was doing unseemly things like that. I was somebody who lived in Tokyo, so for a village or two out in the boonies like this to be submerged didn't seem like a big deal. But I guess for somebody actually living here, it would be a vitally huge problem. This route will be discontinued on the of that year. Oh, that month. Thank you for your patronage up to this point. We look forward to continued patronage on our other lines. XX Transportation. Gazing lazily at the notice of discontinued service posted inside the bus, I counted down the number of stops until the designated one. Along the way, we passed through the checkpoint before without stopping. They knew what time the bus was coming, so they had opened up the barricade ahead of time, letting people in that way. From here on out was enemy territory. My palms had at some point become coated in a thin film of sweat. I don't like it being described as a film of sweat. It's disgusting. Now arriving at Ukita Waterworks. With any passengers disembarking, I hurriedly pressed the stop request button as the designated stop was announced. For none of the numerous passengers to be getting off here meant that it must be quite a remote place. Yeah, look, we got this photo for the first time, I think. In actuality, the stop I got off at was so abnormally run down that I could tell it was barely used. As soon as I stepped out, an intense atmosphere completely different than the interior of the bus assailed my body. Right now, Uishi or Motodai weren't beside me. That's right, at present I was alone in the middle of enemy territory. My adversaries probably thought I was just an ordinary tourist, but that was nothing more than a ruse. But if by some mistake my true identity was to be exposed, it brought back the terrifying words I had heard at the prefectural office, that if somebody was attacked in Hinamizawa with a knife, there wouldn't be any evidence left behind. I didn't seem suspicious, did I? My clothing was currently casual. It was exactly the type of clothing that a city slacker that viewed the countryside as a wholesome getaway would wear. A camera and knapsack. Inside were various things needed for hiking. Is a knapsack like a bum bag? I don't know. It was still only June, and maybe it was unusual, but the sun was shining down like it was already the middle of summer. Or is a knapsack more like over the shoulder, like school bag-ish? I don't know. The fact that I didn't bring a hat must seem odd. No, it wasn't something to be that concerned about. It's alright. I was just a normal tourist. Just normal. Was there anything suspicious about me? Asking that as I turned around to look at the bus that was departing. Here we go. All the passengers by the window were staring down at me silently. They were staring right at me, as if they had seen right through my proud little outfit, just staring, looking down on me. It's a close-knit community, this village, so any stranger that comes along, stands out regardless of what they're wearing. Countless stares rained down like needles on me from the windows opened to air out the bus. All that rained down were stares. None of them were saying a word. But all the more, their silent stares told me more than a million words could. Hurry up and go back to Tokyo, you outsider. No, There's no reason for me to speak. My quiet voice was drowned out by the sound of the engine. The bus, as if to torment me, set out slowly, and after doing more than enough to intimidate me, sped off. A thin film of sweat began to rise from my entire body. Oh god, there it is again, that phrase. According to the documents, it was a village that seemed wary of outsiders. Its population was small as well. If they saw an unfamiliar face, they would be quick to identify that face as an outsider. Exactly, small community. On top of that, nobody else had gotten off at this stop. It was a bus stop that they normally just passed on by. Somebody actually getting off there. There was no doubt that it had drawn some attention. But this wasn't a slip-up. They were the ones who directed me to get off at this stop. There was nothing to worry about. I knew that I was just nervous, since this was my first undercover assignment. My more seasoned colleagues referred to us as the new generation that didn't know how to lose their cool, but that wasn't true at all. Phew. In order to calm my breathing down, I exhaled the unpleasant air residing in the pit of my stomach. I couldn't help but pray that my apprehensions would disappear like the white clouds of exhaust expelled from the bus. There was a small shed there to serve as shelter if it rained, and it was there I decided to wait. Inside the shed, one wall was plastered with posters advertising the dam opposition efforts. It was like the heartfelt screams of the villagers were recorded on that wall. Inside that shelter, I felt an inexplicable pressure. It wasn't like I had any real relation to the dam project, but it still made me feel hesitant about being inside there. I was just how filled with the force of denial that space was. And inside that uneasy space was a girl. I was gonna say, in the manga, this girl is already in the bus stop sleeping, so I would have been surprised if she wasn't. Inside that shed, covered in words written in broad brush strokes, berating the policies regarding the dam and calling for action, there was a girl sitting there with a drowsy gaze as if half asleep. Yay! The two images clashed so much that I could only stand there dumbfounded for a moment, trapped in such a surreal environment. If I stepped inside, who knew what kind of oafish noises I would accidentally make? I couldn't be disturbing this girl's slumber like that. Having thought this, I gave up on entering the shed. It was just a sleeping kid, so why was I so worked up about it? Finally, I realised this girl, to us as a married couple, was the very image of our ideal child. Even after numerous examinations at the hospital, we didn't know for sure what our child's gender was. Whether we could tell if they were a boy or a girl was, in the end, dependent on whether or not we could get an image of their genitalia. Lovely. There was, of course, no guarantee that it was a girl, but with things the way they were, the possibility was high. Even so, Yukie? Someone in the comments told me I was pronouncing the Yuki 2 syllables is wrong because in Japanese they pronounce every vowel kind of thing by the same way, don't they? So it's Yukie, I think. Even so, Yukie had been saved, saying that the chances that it was a boy or a girl were even. But in my heart, I had already decided that our coming child was a girl. Since the day I decided that until now, it was so fun to imagine how our child would grow up that I couldn't help myself. Amongst those numerous imagined forms, the one that I thought to be the most ideal had materialised right in front of me. Of course, a little of it was due to the circumstances. In my ideal image, her hair would be on the short side. The girl in front of me, though, had long hair. It was almost as if somebody had taken my ideal and made some small adjustments. Certainly wasn't something unpleasant. Even so, I felt like I was sullying her just by looking at her like that. She had an immaculate, no, a divine air about her. Let's see her then. Come on. That girl with an angelic smile, with a yawn wide enough you could see her molars, Woke up all of a sudden. I didn't mean to peep, but locking eyes with a girl who had just woken up like this somehow made me feel like I was playing a prank on her. I wasn't doing anything shady, but I became flustered. The girl spoke. No, cried out. Here she is, it's Rika! She looks exactly the same now as she does in the future. That's weird. Meep. But yeah, if there's going to be a question arc that's considered Rika's question arc, then this is it, because she shows up so much throughout it. Whether it really is totally hers, or if it's just meant to be like Akasaka's, this different character's question arc, I don't know. But either way, she'll have her own answer arc anyway. In a very different way. Meep. Like that character on the show with the puppets? What? With the orange hair? Oh, shit. I know what it means. It's not the Muppets, it's a different show with the Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I thought it was just one of those greetings kids do. So in order to prove I wasn't a suspicious person, I responded in kind. Meep. 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 The girl stared at me dubiously with a doll-like expression. Cute, but cold and hard to read. Well, I won't be surprised. There was, after all, an unfamiliar man right in front of her when she woke up who responded with Meep when she said the same. Suspicious. She definitely thought I was suspicious. Meep. Meep. What am I doing with my life? We were both at a loss for words. No, the only one lost was me. The girl in front of me, as if inquiring about my motives, stared at me intently. In this silence, I felt like I was the one who had to say something first. Damn it! This girl was way better at interrogating somebody than Oishi. Oh god. I'm not anybody suspicious. Nipa! Nipa? Oh god, here we go again. What I could only describe as a cold expression suddenly blossomed into a smile, one that soon infected me. You might be familiar with the term angelic smile. Yeah, I remember that from Killer 7, right? Something very different. To me, it was like that phrase was created just to describe the smile she gave me. The girl smiling while saying, Nipa, probably wanted me to return the favour in kind. That's right, this was a kid's form of communication. Having the other person emulate what you just did was a rudimentary form of mutual understanding. Nipa! Nipa! It was a beautiful afternoon in the early summer. They sound like cats talking to each other, meeping and neep-eyeing. That's how they communicate, isn't it? What was I doing? Nipa. Nipa. Well, whatever. This was interesting in its own way. Yeah, I agree. If making somebody happy with just a smile was the work of angels, then this girl was definitely one of them. I couldn't help but pray that my own child, who was soon to be born, would grow up to be like this girl. That strangely gentle moment was finally brought to the end by the arrival of a car. An older person waved at me from the driver's seat, a dry smile plastered on their face. Who's it? Who's it? Hi there, good afternoon. Sorry for being late. You're the tourist who phoned yesterday, right? Huh? Ah, yes. Yeah, phoned from the hotel, didn't he? Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm running a little behind because of the farm. Hop right on in. Looks like the weather isn't going to hold up for much longer, so I'll show you around real quick. Oh, excuse me. Huh? The weather? It changes fast around here. There'll probably be evening showers again today. If that happens, you won't be able to take any pictures. Come on, get in, get in. Meep. Turning around, the girl was standing right behind me with an intrigued expression. Her body language somehow reminded me of a stray cat that followed you around after you played with it a little. So charming. I said she was like a cat, and she is. Well, if it isn't Rika-chama. Praise be, praise be. Meeper. A girl named Rika, with an immaculate smile and an old man praising her while rubbing prayer beads in his hands. It was a rather mysterious sight to behold. You're going to work, Makino? It's not exactly work, per se. I was asked by the maid to show around a young'un who came to the village for some sightseeing. A young'un who came to the village for sightseeing. The girl, Rika-chan, said that with a smile as she clung onto my arm. Well, yeah. I heard that this village is surrounded by a precious nature reserve, so I very much wanted to record that with my camera. Even though I look like this, I really like to take pictures. Tomitaki Mark II. Tomitaki, that was the guy we knew with the camera. He was even coming around this many years before during the Dam War. Or before the Dam War. Huh? Tomitaki? Huh? Makino. Is it okay if I come along too? I couldn't. You could come along, Rika-chama, but there's nothing interesting to see. You should go play near the shrine or something. Yeah, go and break into the shrine and break all the oaths and all that. Meep. A distinctly displeased expression creeped across Rika-chan's face. Being able to show one's emotions honestly on their faces was a privilege young children had. I do that. If it's not too much of a problem, could you bring this child along with us? When I said those helpful words, another smile spread across Rika-chan's face with another Meeper as she clung to me again. Ah. Not bad at all. I want this girl to call me Papa. No. Father. Dad. Daddy. Daddy-o. What am I doing? Ever since I met this girl, I was completely off my game. Just calm down. Calm blue ocean. Nothing I can do, I guess. Rika-chama never listens even if you say no. Come on, hop on in. Come now, Rika-chama too. The old man descended from the driver's seat and opened up the sliding door of the van, which had Onagafuchi Alliance Town Council stenciled on the side. Rika-chan brushed me aside, dove into a seat, and began bouncing around right away. Seemed like she was thoroughly enjoying the bouncy springs. Come on now, Rika-chama. If you like that, our guest can't sit down. Hey, Rika-chama. Ah, girls are nice. I wonder if my child will play around like this too. No. It was written in that guide to raising a child that you shouldn't dote on them. Kids are kids. If you don't raise them strictly without spoiling them, well, you gotta find an equal, and you gotta find the personality within the kid and see how likely they are to be a little shit if you spoil them. I think it's soft and springy, Meeper. Meeper. I'm definitely going to be a terrible father. It's decided that I would be a doting parent before my child was even born. Yeah, he can't be strict, look at him. Well then, sir, I'll show you around some places that I think look nice. Have you eaten lunch yet? Yeah. I had a light meal at the hotel. Is that so? Well then, let's get going. We're setting off on a tour of Hinamizawa. Yay! Is it alright if I call you Rika-chan? Sure. My name is Rika Furude. I can already do addition in a tens digit. Oh, is that true? That's amazing. So now he knows that she is one of the major families. Or he should do from hearing the name, but who knows. I don't count on my fingers. I can do it all in my head. The way she insisted upon that was just too cute. At some point, the nervousness I had about being alone in enemy territory had evaporated like it was never there at all. I had to be at least a little thankful that I met this girl. Well then, let's get going. It's time for Hinamizawa nature watching. This is, I think, the best it showed. The question arcs showcase Rika. She's getting the most attention in this arc, whereas in the other three arcs she seemed to be more of like a side character, while the other kids of the club came to the forefront as they became nuts and everything. The old man stepped on the gas with a great deal of gusto. I mean, she had her presence, but not as much as the others to me anyway. Nice bit of sightseeing. I would love to live in a place like that. I don't live in a huge place now, but it's not out in the country quite like that. That's it, I'm moving there. It's based on a real place, they're real photos. I'll go there. Such a bouncy song. You can imagine Rika bouncing on the seat to it. Oh my god, it's panning! There's a camera pan! Don't think we've seen that before. It's just been photos, haven't it? I might be wrong, I might have forgotten one or two bits that did it. Oh, we're back. The old man, who was apparently named Makino. Was he the same Makino that was listed as the auditor of the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance? showed me around places that were all breathtaking. Even though I wasn't really here for sightseeing, I couldn't help but be impressed. First of all, this was different from the simple scenery of a city. The scenery of a charming village like this, no matter how mundane it seemed to be to the villagers, had a tranquil appeal to it. At first I was only releasing the shutter as part of my tourist act, but midway through I found myself taking pictures out of pure interest. Tourist traps had their own unique allure to them, but there was nothing like that here. I was especially captivated by the unspoiled nature of the place. If there wasn't that whole uproar over the dam, I would want to bring Yukie with me here some other time. I hope I'm still not pronouncing that name wrong in a different way now. I wanted her to breathe in this fresh air, as well as show her this rejuvenating verdant scenery. Well yeah, fresh air, exactly. Fresh air is good for illness. Same as salty air, which is quite strange. Is something like this that interesting? You're a strange person, Akasaka. No, these cylindrical mailboxes are rare nowadays. They have a certain nostalgic air about them. You wouldn't happen to think they're elegant, would you? Is Hinamizawa fun? Yeah, it's fun. Once she's discharged from the hospital, I'd like to bring my wife here at least once, with the child that would born by that time. Right now she's in the hospital waiting to give birth. She's due any day now. It'd be nice if they were a cute girl like you. Sir, it seems like congratulations are soon to be in order. Still, that's not good. To leave your wife behind to play around in a place like this. Yeah, it's time to be told off by a little girl. I was momentarily at a loss for words. It's exactly how Makino said. There's no good reason for a man who is waiting for his wife to give birth to be playing around idly in this place. Did I slip up? Ah, well. We'd already planned this trip to Hinamizawa a long time ago. My wife's family is with her, so it's alright. If you had this planned so far in advance, then how come you didn't make the sign-up deadline for the nature watching? If you did, you could have toured around on a nice bus instead of being cramped up in here. Didn't seem as if Makino was actually digging for anything. Was Makino talking, not Rika? Shit. If this conversation continued any longer, it would put some unexpected holes in my cover. I halted the conversation by pretending to take another picture. Well then, for our last stop, I'll take you to the place with the best view. It was slightly before evening. The sun was still burning brightly, but a cool breeze had begun to mix itself into the air. It seemed my exploration of Hinamizawa with Rika-chan was just about done. The place with the best view? Well, Rika-chan, where else could it be but the view from around the shrine? Hearing that, Rika-chan smiled even more. Well then, I'll introduce you to my home, Akasaka. Huh? By Rika-chan's home, you mean... Huh? The shrine. Fude Shrine. It's an observation platform. You can see some real pretty scenery. Fude Shrine. The girl who called Fude Shrine her home, Rika. If I remembered correctly, her full name was Rika. Fude. He's a bit slow, Akasaka. And Fude was... that's right. One of the 3 families. Even if the Sonzaki family is said to hold all the actual power, it was still one of the old houses that held some authority. No. More important than that right now was Fude Shrine. If I remembered correctly, Uishi had told me. Within the grounds of the Fude Shrine, there were the offices of the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance. And since the land around Fude Shrine were private property, the police couldn't set foot there heedlessly. Fude Shrine, where even Uishi couldn't simply set foot into. The main base of operations for the Onagafuchi Defense Alliance. I'd been given the unexpected opportunity to enter there. That's lucky. I couldn't have asked for more. I'm looking forward to it. Please, if you would. Well then, let's get there quick. The weather seems to be getting a little iffy. The sky had suddenly become overcast. It wouldn't be odd if it started raining soon. They said it was going to. The cicadas, as if trying to finish their daily allotment of chirps before the evening, cried out even more fervently. Oh! That's it! Okay. I thought it would have shown the best view from the shrine, but it looks like that's going to happen next time if they still include it in the game. Oh my god! I really enjoyed that part, more than the first chapter anyway. I like it more now that we're in Hinamizawa and we've met Rika, one of the club members and everything. It feels more like home. Like we're getting back to the main game kind of thing. Anyway. Oh, I was going to say something. I was going to say something at the end. No! No! Oh, it's gone. No. I'll get it. I'll get it. No. Oh, I was just going to talk about Rika and how's her arc. That's all. Never mind. I've already said it. Anyway, this has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we go for the rest of chapter 2. I'm assuming there's still 2 parts per chapter. I can't see why it's changing now. But, oh yeah, I had a look at something. I do want to show this off just for 2 seconds before we finish. Let me just save this a sec. Should be on menu somewhere maybe. We'll have to quit the game a sec. Anyway, let's go. Let's have a look. There was something I wanted to show off, and that's the tips. And there's something about the tips that makes me think that this is going to be really short. Unless there aren't going to be 4 every chapter. 4 tips. But the first chapter, we got 4, right? This time, if we get 4 every time, it's only going to be 2, 3, maybe 4 chapters altogether. I'm assuming there'll be more than that, and it'll just be a couple of tips a couple of times. But, you know, it's only 2 pages worth, and not even that, so... yeah. So, that's all I wanted to say, that's all. This has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit for the rest of chapter 2. Get a bit more sightseeing on the go. See you in a bit, folks.